Good morning, children. In last class, we have studied that traditional methods of irrigation. So, in that, the first method we have studied that is called as moat. M-O-A-T. Moat means it's like a pulley system. We have studied with the help of bullock and one human. We used to get the water, pump the water from the well. It's a traditional method, first method. So, like that, the next traditional method of irrigation is chain pump. So, if you'll observe the figure here, it is this method of system is called as chain pump. Understand? Means without using any kind of like what external manpower, by using some kind of wheels and the belt system, we used to get the water from the source of water. Understand? So now how it will be working, I am going to explain. So if it comes to the chain pump is an arrangement to lift water from a source of water like a stream, pond or lake. Understanding? Which is at lower level than the fields. Understanding? Means here if you observe here, I have written here water to fields. So this chain pump is a system that where we can, it's like arrangement to lift water from a source of water like a stream, pond or any kind of water source. That water source level must be below than the fields. Means field must be in upper and water source must be in lower level. Then only we can arrange this chain pump system. Understand? So here how we can fix it means, then if it is in lower level, then only so as to provide irrigation in the fields, we can use to arrange this chain pump system. So a chain pump consists of two large wheels. If you'll observe, this is one large wheel and this is another large wheel. So this chain pump contains two large wheels, one fixed at the lower level, understanding, of water source. So one wheel is fixed wherever the water source is present, there we will fix it one. Understanding, very close to the water source, and the other fixed at the higher level above the fields. Higher level above the fields, because here water needs to flow for the fields. That is why one is above the fields and one is very close to the water source. Understand? So the two wheels are connected by chain passing over them. It's like a belt system. Understanding? One chain is passing over them. Understanding? So now what is going to happen? A chain passing over them, and the chain also it is containing as a chain or hang some small buckets. Understanding? Chain is hanging or hung, we can call that. Hung a small buckets. If you'll observe here everywhere 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 like that. These are the small buckets which is hung to this chain. Now below the, here if you'll observe, below the bottom wheel is the source of water like a stream, pond or lake. Correct or not? So from which the water is to be lifted up to the fields. Understand? So here a handle is attached to a axle of the upper wheel. If you'll observe here we have arranged some kind of handle. It's like a rotation. Understand? We have arranged some handle to the axle of a upper wheel. It's like a bike pedal. We are having a handle here. Understanding? So here what is going to happen, from which the water to be lifted to the fields, we are going to we are going to rotate this handle. With the help of handle, we are going to rotate this wheel. So if this wheel is rotating, means what is going to happen, this chain is continuously going down, and here these buckets will fill the water. Again these buckets will carry the water, and here once it will reach us to this position, water will be poured into the fields. Like this continuous mechanism. So when the handle is attached to the upper wheel, is rotated by the farmer. So some farmer is standing here and he will rotate this wheel. So what is going to happen? The wheels connected by the chain starts turning. So if he is rotating this wheel continuously, this will be turning. So this chain will go down, and here water will be filled by the buckets, small buckets, and again it will be lifted to the upper fields. So when the lower wheel turns, the buckets attached to this chain dip in the stream. Understanding? Dip in the stream and get filled with water. So here if you'll observe, here I have written that empty buckets, means here buckets not containing water. But here if you'll observe, here I have written filled buckets. So when these buckets will reach us to this water source, so here also if you'll observe, this is also empty bucket, but here it is filled bucket. So when this lower wheel also will rotate, means these buckets will come to the water source, and they will filled with water and they will lift it to the fields. So the moving chain then lifts these buckets filled with water up to the upper fields. Understand? Upper fields in the same mechanism. So wheels where the buckets tilt. Here if you'll observe, here water is carrying, but if it comes to here, water is a bucket is tilt. So water will be poured to the fields and get emptied in the fields to provide water for irrigation. So the moving chain then carries the empty bucket down to the lower wheel to be filled with water again. So if the farmer is continuously rotating this upper wheel with the help of handle, so the continuously chain will go down, means empty, it will carry the empty buckets, water will be filled by water source, and again it will be lifted to the fields. But here these buckets will be tilted, understanding, and they will get emptied. EMPTIED, emptied means they will become empty. This water will be transferred into the fields. So like this process is repeated, due to which the water from stream, understanding, stream means what, like it may be a pond or like maybe a small village pond or any kind of lake or something, but that water source level must be below than the fields. Like this, it is continuously lifted up into the fields. So this is the second traditional method of irrigation. Like that, the next method is Dhekli. What it is? Dhekli. So the next traditional method of irrigation is Dhekli. So here the Dhekli is an old traditional method, understanding, which is using in even our Indian irrigation system. Now not before. So now this is a Dhekli is an arrangement to lift water from the shallow wells by using the principle of simple lever. So in class 6 we have studied, in physics we have studied that simple lever. Understanding? So seesaw beam, seesaw, we know that it's like a balancing. We used to play in a child days. That is also called as lever. Understand? So this Dhekli is also an arrangement to lift water from shallow wells by using the principle of simple levers. Simple levers means somewhere like a levers means we used to play this game also, a seesaw game. A middle some kind of some kind of a fixed one will be present, and this one will be a free end. So we when we are in a childhood, we used to sit opposite sides and we used to trying to moving down and going up like this, balancing. Is it correct or not? So here with the help of this one, we used to balance this two. Is it correct or not? So like this one is called as levers. Understand? So this one is called as load and this one is called as effort, one side, and this one is called as fulcrum. Understand? So this we have already studied what is a lever and all. So if it comes to the Dhekli also, Dhekli is also an arrangement to lift water from shallow wells by using the principle of simple lever. Understand? So the word Dhekli means lever beam of well. What it is? Dhekli means what? Lever beam of well. Lever beam of well. So here, if you'll observe, with the help of some kind of what we can say, this is a wooden support. Understanding? So we are going to use this Dhekli method to lift the water from the shallow wells. Understand? So in Dhekli, a long wooden beam is supported over a forked vertical support fixed in the ground. Fixed in the ground. Understand? Near the well in such a way that its longer arm is towards to the well. Longer arm is towards to the well. Understanding? And the shorter arm is away from it. If you'll observe the picture, you can understand it. So here what is going to happen? It is a longer arm. So it is supported over a forked vertical. Understand? See here it is a vertical. V shape, Y shape it is having. Correct or not? So a wooden beam is supported over a forked vertical support fixed to the ground. This is what? A ground it is. This is a ground. Fixed to the ground and a wooden plank. Understand? So this wooden beam, one a longer edge towards the well and shorter edge is away from it. Understanding? Now here if you'll observe, a bucket is tied to the end of the longer lever. longer lever arm with a rope in a such a way that it hangs over the mouth of the well. It hangs over the mouth of the well. Understanding? So a weight is tied to the end of the shorter arm level. If you'll observe here, some kind of weight is tied to the shorter arm at the end of the another wooden arm. Understanding? Lever arm. So in order to lift water from the well. Understand? So the end of the longer lever arm carrying the bucket is pulled down by the rope. Understand? So here what is going to happen is like a balance. If this stone will go up, then automatically this bucket will go inside and it will fill with water. Again, if this stone will come down, automatically this bucket will fill with water and it will comes to the upper surface. Now, after coming to the upper surface, the farmer will take that bucket and he will pour the water down, and again he will lift into the well. The same phenomena. Like if you will see that check post, in a road check post, you can see that police, they used to bring some kind of iron rod to down, again they will lift up, again some down, again they will lift up. Is it katana? And if you'll observe, opposite side of that check post, they have used to kept a big stones for it. Katana, for easily lifting and easily going up. Katana. So here, some kind of weight is tied to the end of the shorter lever arm, and a longer lever arm we are tying the bucket, which is it's like exactly going inside the mouth of the well. So when the bucket is lowered into the well, it's get filled with the water. Understanding? Now on releasing the rope, the weight attached to the end of the shorter lever arm comes down. Understanding? Comes down and lifts the water filled bucket out of the well. So the farmer then gets hold of the bucket, understanding, and tilts it and pour out its water into the field. So this process is repeated so as to get a large amount of water from the well required for irrigation. Understanding? So here some kind of understanding of the rope will be present. When this rope will be left, means the bucket will go inside and it will fill with the water. And if you leave that rope, automatically this stone, understanding, will come down and the bucket will come up. Again, if the bucket will go down, the stones will go up. Means here we need to pull. Understanding? Like that check post system. When you want to get the rod down, we have to pull the rope. When you want to leave the rod up, you need to just leave the rope. Automatically that load will come down. Like that, the system is continuously repeated to get a large amount of water from the well required for irrigation. Understanding? So whenever this bucket wants to go inside, this stone will come up. Along with this is called as, this is also wooden, shorter wooden arm. Understand? So this will go up, this bucket will go and fill the water. If you leave this rope freely, then this this stone will come down and this bucket will come up along with the water. Now this farmer will take that bucket and will tilt and pour the water for the fields. Like this, it is continuous. He will repeat the process until he will get the sufficient amount of water from the deep, shallow wells. So this process is called as Dhekli process. Understanding? So Dhekli means what? Lever beam of well. Lever beam of well. Understand? So what is a lever means? It is a simple machine to reduce the man work. Understanding? Is called as levers. Alternative instruments, like any kind of, if you are using, see, before we used to use a bull cart for plowing, bullock. Now we are using tractor. So here anyhow human effort is reducing. So like that, any kind of mission which is reducing the human work is called as levers. Understanding? A simple mission we can call them as. So simple mission, one of the simple mission is called as levers. So levers are is like what balancing systems which will reduce the human work, which will make the human work effortlessly. Understanding? So this is our third understanding, traditional irrigation system. And the next one is what? Rahat. Rahat means what? Lever system, which is also similar to method 2. Now that we will study in the next class.